I did not kidnap my daughters. They ran away.
You said your life would be better if she was dead.
Oh, she was gone forever, yeah. Definitely.
She claims he's brainwashing their girls against her.
She's a drunk. She is nuts. I don't quite consider her a woman anymore.
You do admit that you emotionally and verbally abuse her.
I do.
Well, you've done it since you've been out here. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. This is Robin, a divorced mother of 14-year-old Danny and 12-year-old Zoe, who claims the two young girls were kidnapped this summer, lured from their home by their own father. Now, Robin says her ex brainwashed the two girls, but he says he didn't have to convince the girls to leave with him. He says they hate their mother and wanted to run away. Take a look.
It's the worst custody battle I've ever heard of. An over-possessive, slightly disabled mother tries to turn her children against the father. In the end, now 14 and 12 years old, the kids have decided that there's something wrong with mom and they don't want anything to do with her anymore. They actively run away and hide from her, and they're with me.
Well, Robin is livid because she claims neither lawyers nor courts, not even the police, will do anything to help her rights as the primary custodial mother.
Even though I have full legal custody of our girls, my ex-husband Daniel and I have fought over their custody for years.
We've been in our court so many times, I couldn't even begin to count. I'd take a guess, I'd say 30.
Our custody battle is completely out of control. A few months ago, when my girls were staying with their dad, my daughter Zoe called me and said she didn't want to exist. I could hear Daniel yelling at her, using profanity. When I arrived at Daniel's house, he refused to let me take the kids home. I was furious.
Robin is an unfit mother. Robin neglects the children. When they're their moms, I've had safety concerns, cuts on their legs from swords, been gun fears, suicidal boyfriends. It just goes on and on.
I got a court order that our daughters be returned to my home.
My oldest daughter, Danny, was so upset, she actually told the police that she'd rather go to a foster home and that she won't stay with her mom and that she will run away.
The girls weren't even home for 24 hours. My ex-husband, Daniel, kidnapped my daughters in the middle of the night.
I did not kidnap my daughters. My girls were forced to go back to their moms, and 11 hours later, they ran away.
Daniel Facebooked my daughter, Danny, and told her to run away.
Once the police removed the kids, I realized quickly that the children were going to run away. I was concerned for their safety. If they're going to run away, they have to get to a phone and call me immediately or call the police. It was 2 in the morning. I get a phone call. It was my daughter telling me they're somewhere near their mom's house.
I haven't seen either of my daughters in over a month. My fear is that Daniel has kidnapped my daughters and I will never see them again.
Despite the court order, and if it is breaking the law, my kids' safety is more important to me.
A mother's worst nightmare has come true and I just don't know what to do. My daughters mean everything to me. That's all that I wanted was my kid. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that, okay?
Okay, Robin, you want these children back.
Yes, I want my children back.
And you currently have physical custody.
Yes, I have full physical and legal custody.
Okay, so you are what's known as the residential parent here. So
yes,
they are to reside with you.
Yes.
So you guys have gone through the courts, gotten a divorce. The court has issued a ruling that says the children are to reside with you and have visitation from their father.
Yes.
Okay. So why are they not with you then?
Because he kidnapped them last March, and then he wouldn't give them back, and I had to go get another. Cops wouldn't help me, even though my court order says mandatory enforcement, forcibly remove the kids. I had to go back to court. The judge ordered them to be forcibly removed and returned to me again, which they did.
What happened?
He got on Facebook and talked Danny into running away and told her not to forget Zoe. They waited till I was asleep. And when I got up, they were gone.
Okay, so here's an excerpt from Daniel and Danny's Facebook messages. Is this what you're talking about here? Danny, Robin came and got the cops again. This is why I wish I could drive. I could, like, become a runaway. Daniel responds, this is nothing, honey. I spent hours with the attorney, and this was a one-time order to pick you up. You can walk out with Zoe anytime and tell me what corner you're on, and I'll come pick you up. Example, I'm on the corner of Street and Street. Then I know exactly where you are, and I will be there in 25 minutes. Don't forget Zoe.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's an actual street. That wasn't like a hypothetical.
No, he knew exactly where he was sending them.
Okay, that was an actual street. Okay.
Yeah.
So, have you talked to him about this?
No. We do not have contact.
Why not?
Because he's extremely, extremely abusive, and you cannot have a conversation with this man if you're like, hey, Dan, why are you doing this? All of a sudden, I just get to hear I'm crazy, I deserve this, you did this, and you did this, and you did this. And I did none of this stuff. He makes it all up, and he tells my kids this, and he's brainwashing them to hate me. Ever since I left him, 13 years ago, he's been telling them what a horrible mother I am. Everything I do is wrong. The fact that I like to wash their laundry and make sure they have clean clothes for school, that's bad because I'm materialistic. The fact that I like to have them a nice house to live in, I'm just a materialistic, horrible, horrible mother. The fact that I keep my refrigerator stocked up with food, all I care about is money. I don't care anything about them. Well, all my money is going on them. That's what you do as a parent. These aren't bad things. These are what parents do.
You say that he tells the girls that your family are all alcoholics.
Yes.
Is that true?
No, there are members of my family that are alcoholics, but I don't hang around those ones.
And you're concerned about what's happening with the girls when they're with him?
Yes, I'm scared for their safety. I know exactly why he sold them at this particular age in their life.
What do you mean?
He was severely molested at this age in his life, and now it's a perfect time to get me out of their life so he can have as much fun. If he could break down their boundaries and they have nobody to run to, he can do whatever he wants. My daughters are beautiful. That's what he thinks women look like, and he has always said that's the perfect body. No, that's a little kid's body. That's not a body that you should be looking at in a sexual way. It's sick.
So you're afraid that he may have inappropriate designs on the children?
Yes, and the more I think about it, he might have already done something.
You don't know that?
I don't know. I just know that
that's a very serious allegation.
Yes,
you're not making the allegation.
No.
You're saying that's a concern you have.
That is a concern.
You say that you believe that he has showed them inappropriate videos.
Yes, horrific pornographic videos.
And how do you know this?
Because my daughter came home on Christmas crying. She told me what the video was. She called 911 to have a safety check on her sister because she was so concerned.
What was on this video?
It was pornographic, something horrible, horrible, and he was trying to convince them it was me.
So he was trying to convince them that in this video that he was showing them
was me.
That this was you in the video doing these pornographic acts.
Yes.
And she was saying, that's not my mother.
That's not my mom. I know what my mom looks like.
But in order for her to make that judgment, she had to be looking at this tape.
Correct.
And this tape was very out there.
The worst thing I've even heard of.
I mean, we're talking bestiality here.
That's exactly what we're talking of.
Okay. How long were you married to this man?
2 weeks. I had to come home right away and divorce him because he beat me up on my honeymoon.
He beat you up on your honeymoon. So, okay, now, you were married to him for 2 weeks, but yet you have 2 children.
Yeah, I'm not very smart. What happened is I went home and I divorced him. Everything went through. And
do you have a child when you got married?
No.
Were you pregnant when you got married?
Well, apparently I got pregnant on the honeymoon because when I came back and got divorced, I found out I was pregnant.
Okay, so that's when you had your first child.
Yes.
Okay, so I get that. surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
But you then got pregnant with a man that you say beat you up on your honeymoon.
Yes.
You're gonna have to tell me how that logic went down.
It is. So I find out I'm pregnant, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Now I have to make it work with their father because they need a father, right? And of course...
There's not they, there's just one now.
Well, at this point, yes. And, you know, I didn't have a father growing up, so they're very important to me, and he always tells me why he beats me. So I thought if I acted better, he would quit beating me and I could make this stop. But you can't make it stop because I wasn't doing anything wrong.
So your thought was, I'll behave better.
Yes.
And he'll quit beating me.
And then we could raise our child.
And somewhere along in there, you decided to have another one.
No, that was an accident, too.
It was an accident.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on it.
Okay.
I didn't even know I was pregnant till the day I left him. I just decided that's the last beating I've ever taken. I walked out of there, and I went to Women's Crisis, and they said, are you pregnant? And I said, well, probably, because that would just make things so much worse. So, of course, I was.
What do you mean it's an accident? You know how this works, right?
Yes, I do. Maybe not. I've been pregnant 11 times. I'm not good at birth control. But I was trying birth control. This is my first experience with birth control. And I was switching from the shot to a different kind because it wasn't working. And voila, baby.
Okay. The last time Robin saw her ex-husband, she says, was in March of this year.
Yes.
They will come face to face when Daniel joins next. We'll be right back.
Oh. I firmly believe Dan has brainwashed our daughters into hating me.
Robin has always bashed me behind my back.
He tells the girls that I'm a crazy psychopath all the time.
She is nuts.
The girls need to know the truth, that I'm the sane one, and their father, Daniel, is the crazy one.
And later...
That's my oldest daughter flipping her mom off.
You seem to take great pride in that.
For them to stand up to this beast you see in front of you, yeah, I'm very, very proud of them.
Wednesday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
We're identical twins. We're both anorexics and bulimic.
Two beautiful sisters.
He's called them vagabond, skeleton.
I didn't realize that you ate that much and threw it up.
Because they're not a part of my life.
A family in crisis.
We want money for all of this. That's what you said to my staff. You need to become part of the solution or we're done.
That's Wednesday.
Daniel is completely reckless with our children. They're in constant danger. That he would like that our daughters to experiment with drugs in a safe manner at the house with him because children are going to do it anyway, and he felt that was the safest way.
Robin is such an unfit parent that her own children have filed police reports against her. When they're their moms, I've had safety concerns, cuts on their legs from swords, there've been gun fears, suicidal boyfriends. It just goes on and on.
The bottom line is he's a bad, evil person.
Robin may think that I'm a bad, evil guy, but I don't think about her at all. I've given up on her.
Daniel says he has been battling with his ex-wife Robin in courts for years to get custody of their two daughters. Now, Daniel claims Robin's home is unsafe because she has a problem with alcohol and constantly dates abusive men. So what did Daniel do? Well, Robin claims he convinced their daughters to leave their home and meet him on the corner with nothing but the clothes on their back. Robin considers that he is brainwashing these children and, in fact, has kidnapped them. Take a look.
Robin's been saying that I brainwashed my daughters.
I firmly believe Dan has brainwashed our daughters into hating me. He has made me out to be some sort of monster and turned the girls against me.
I love my daughters, and that is not brainwashing. Loving your children is not brainwashing. Robin has always bashed me behind my back.
Daniel has my girls convinced that they have suffered horrendous beatings and abuse from my ex-husband. It's not true. It's all complete lies. Daniel tries to paint me and my entire family like we're just crazy. He tells the girls that I'm a crazy psychopath all the time.
She is nuts. Robin needs to just face the fact that all the wicked things she has done to try and hurt me and to separate me from the only thing in the world that I love is now backfired. And she's dealing with the consequences, and she's going to have to deal with it for the rest of her life.
The girls need to know the truth, that I'm the sane one, and their father, Daniel, is the crazy one.
Okay, Daniel, you've been listening to the show so far,
yeah.
right? I've given her a chance to speak. I want to give you the chance to do the same thing. What do you say? Is there anything in particular that she said that you want to respond to?
Oh, yeah. Well, when it started about the worst custody battle you could ever imagine in the history of modern society, that's all true. Everything else she said is a complete, blatant lie. She's mentally disabled. She's on medication.
Who are you? Who are you talking to?
Everybody that
Talk to me.
Heard that nonsense. It's all complete
That's a lie,
insanity.
Daniel. I am not on any medications.
This type.
No, wait a minute. Now, you let I let you speak. Now let him speak. Go ahead.
The fantasies that you just heard come from somebody that's mentally unstable and has been doing the things that she describes are what's been happening to her with the recent boyfriends she's had from prior marriage. She had 3 kids when I met her already.
How many boyfriends? How many boyfriends have I had, Dan? Name them. In 13 years, I've dated 5 people.
I actually brought reports of police reports.
If you're domestic violence, Daniel, why did you beat me up on my honeymoon? Why did you beat me when I was pregnant?
Okay, hold on. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Okay? Go ahead.
So, just for the audience sake, and for people that want to judge me by what she says, I've never laid a harmful hand on a woman in my life. I'm a black belt in the martial arts in several forms.
Hold on. I'll let you respond in a minute.
And if half of what she said is true, I would be in prison for life. If half of it, that was insane. Now, I have battled allegations of me kicking her in the back, and there's a little quarter-shaped bruise in her back. It was 4 days after I dropped the kids off, 4 days after, this fresh quarter-sized bruise, exactly the size of the seesaw that she leaves in the backyard with no supervision, 4-year-old girl and 6-year-old girl, and somebody slammed her in the back, and guess what? I have to convince CPS that I wasn't nowhere found. And every single time she does this, it's always dropped. I'm always found innocent. But I lose 30 days. I lose 2 weeks of visitation. I had to do 2 weeks supervised visits. And every lie that she did, I have defeated for years. I have defeated every single thing she has done. And you know what happened? The kids see what's going on. They've been watching her for 14 years. Everything she said to you. These kids have lived with it, and then they only have me on the weekends, and then 1 week, alternating weeks during the summertime. And she wants to tell you that I'm the one that has shaped them, and that I am the one who has somehow brainwashed them, when she has had them exclusively up until the age of about 10. It's only been the last 4 years when my children can talk to the police, can write police reports and orders, and then the truth starts to come out. And guess what? They started running away. And my oldest started running away when she was 10 years old. She's not telling you that. And then lastly, she hasn't seen these kids since May of 2015. Not this year. They've been living with me exclusively since last year, Mother's Day. She kicked them out.
Okay, hold on.
And they're here to testify.
Here, talk to me. Talk to me. Do you breathe through your ears? You got to take a breath sometime here. She says that you have beaten her physically on a regular basis.
I have
so
never
you have
laid
the opportunity
a
to respond.
On a woman in my life, including her, even though I don't quite consider her a woman anymore.
And later, have you had restraining orders filed against you by other women?
She's filed 8 against me.
Have you had restraining orders filed against you by other women?
Not that I know of, okay?
Hey, Dr. Phil here. Did you know that more than 16 million kids in the U.S. are at risk of hunger each day? That's more than 1 in 5 children. Now, these are our neighbors, our kids that play in the neighborhood, co-workers, friends' children. The problem is closer than you would think, but so is the solution. Join me and visit feedingamerica.org/hunger to find your local food bank to help. I'm Dr. Phil, and together, we are Feeding America. She says that you, across a period of time, have beaten her physically on a regular basis. I want to give you the opportunity to clear that up. Are you saying that is absolutely not true?
Completely fictitious. Wouldn't you, I know they asked me, do we have any evidence? Do you have any evidence of something? Like I say, my daughter ran away when she was 10. I brought evidence of that. I brought a police report. Show us one police report. If a man lays a hand on you and you have 1 bruise, show us the police report. Show us the
I'm
facts.
asking you.
I have
So
never
you have
laid
the
a
opportunity
harmful
to
handle
respond
on a
to
woman
that.
in my life.
So I'm not asking about any other women. I'm just asking about this one. You've not beaten your wife.
Including her, even though I don't quite consider her a woman anymore. But.
Okay. All right. Now, so you're saying that she is not telling the truth, that you have never hit her, beaten her, abused her physically in any way?
In any way at all.
Okay.
Never,
Now,
ever.
You do admit that you emotionally and verbally abuse her.
I do.
Well, you've done it since you've been out here.
How do you respond to what she just said?
Well, you're saying she's not even a woman. You said she's crazy. Those are abusive things to say to anyone.
Sexually molest my children. What do you call someone?
No, actually, she didn't say that.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't say that. This is on tape, and I can play it back. In fact, on your behalf, I was very careful and clarified. Are you accusing him of that, or are you saying you are concerned that that could happen? I made clear that she was not making that accusation against you because I didn't want you to have to deal with that. Okay. So on your behalf, I clarified that for you.
Well, then maybe I mistook it as like, because I did have to fight CPS as soon as we got back. Guess who's at my house?
Well,
Child Protective Services. And they mentioned something about pornography. You know what I did? I threw my hands up. I said, you got to talk to the kids because I don't know anything about this.
Daniel, let me tell you something. I'm trained as a forensic psychologist. I've worked as an officer of the court in custody proceedings. So I listen to what is said very carefully. I also hear what isn't said. I hear how things are said. And so I very carefully clarified, was she making an accusation or was she expressing a concern? She expressed a concern and did not make an allegation. So I want to be very clear about that. It is correct, right?
That's correct.
You're not accusing him of molesting your children.
No.
You're saying that you have a concern.
But that's a lie.
I have a concern.
She did make the allegation. I did have to deal with Child Protective Services.
I never
Ask
have.
my children.
She didn't make the allegation here to me.
They're here to tell you.
She did make the allegation here to me.
Okay, but I did have to deal with Child Protective Services about this.
You're saying that you
fantasy
don't, that she's shaping these children, you're not shaping these children.
The prior years, until they developed a voice, until they could stand up to their mother, she tried to turn them against him. She moved 19 times. She tried to hide them from me. She's always been insanely jealous. Whenever I'd have the kids for a weekend and I'd take them back, they cry.
Well, here's a comment
when they go to mom's.
Here's a comment that you made on. Here's a comment that you made on Robin's Facebook page, Daniel. Oh my God, what is that hideous beast between my 2 beautiful girls?
Yes. That was the night
I never knew a mother could be so heartless and cold to their own children. Take a clue, Robin. They don't want to live with you because you're a terrible mother.
You notice the finger dubbed out there on that screen? That's my oldest daughter flipping her mom off.
Hey, do me a favor. Talk to me. This is not an election and they don't vote.
I've done a lot of court. You
So
see
talk
the
to me.
middle finger there has been dubbed out. My daughter's flipping. She pulled that down as soon as she realized the family photo. Zoe knew she was flipping her off. My youngest knew she was looking at the phone. She knew Danny was flipping her mom off, and she took the picture anyway. That's what you're really seeing there.
Okay, you seem to take great pride in that.
No, you know what I'm proud of? I'm proud that my kids have finally stood up against all these lies, this wickedness.
But you seem to take great pride in that your daughter is
really
flipping off their mother.
For them to stand up to this beast you see in front of you, yeah, I'm very, very proud of them. I'm very, very proud of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you think that's appropriate behavior for a 14-year-old with her mother?
She sits in her house drunk every day. That's what she does. That's her life. She collects welfare, and if she does get a boyfriend that has a job, it's a 12-pack each. Every day.
How do you know what I do in my house? You don't go in my house.
You know what?
You're not allowed to be in my house.
6 years on the reservation. You know how many cans are just stacked out?
None. My house is always clean.
It's a whole 50-gallon barrel full of cans. They don't recycle like they do in Oregon there. They just pile up. And so...
Collecting evidence, didn't take a picture.
See, the beauty is the kids are here to tell the truth.
To tell them what you told them to say.
And that's what she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand that now I'm not alone anymore. She can't just make up stories, and because you can now ask the ones that lived with her for 14 years.
Oh, I'm stacking up a lot of evidence from both of you every time you open your mouths. There's lots of... we're going to take a break, and I am going to speak with Daniel and Robin's daughters a little bit later, but first, when we come back, we're going to find out why Daniel claims Robin is so dangerous that he had to take their children to the police station so they can report their own mother's bad behavior. We'll be right back.
Danny leaps out of the car, runs into the police station screaming, "My mom's trying to take us, it's my dad's time."
You're such a liar, this never happened.
My daughter was 10 years old when she started running away from her mom.
Some of the things that Daniel has done to make my girls think I'm a horrible person are completely unthinkable. Daniel has shown the girls incredibly horrific, graphic, pornographic videos. To make matters even worse, he tried to convince the girls that the video was of me. The girls didn't buy it. It just demonstrates that the girl's father is sick and dangerous. In my mind, what Daniel is doing is beyond abuse. My fear is Daniel is baiting our daughters, and his real intention is to sexually abuse them.
Child Protective Services shows up and takes my kids in a back room and inquires, and the case is immediately closed, found completely fraudulent. Robin has even accused some of my family members of inappropriate activity. I hear crazy stuff. Robin says I'm a bad parent. You have to consider the source. Everything she says is a lie.
Well, Robin is convinced that her ex, Daniel, has kidnapped her children because he's now sexually interested in them. I asked her if she thought that he had molested them. She said no. She's just concerned about it. Robin says she believes it's no coincidence that Daniel has encouraged her 12 and 14-year-old daughters to run away now that they have hit puberty. That's a very difficult thing for you to respond to, because how do you prove something in the negative?
Okay, first of all, back in 2012, my oldest was 10 years old when she took the kids to hide them from me, but I found them. I went there and I made myself an available parent.
I can't hide them.
Can I finish?
Maybe.
Anyway, she was not letting me have visitations.
Never once. It never happened once.
I brought the police report.
The only people...
She was trying to hide them from me. Danny leaps out of the car. When Robin's trying to drive away, my oldest jumps out of the car, runs into the police station screaming, "My mom's trying to take us, it's my dad's time."
You're such a liar, this never happened.
My daughter writes a police report. Actually, I brought several police reports. She was 10 years old when she started running away from her mom.
She's never run away before, that's a lie. Never.
And they tell her she's a drunk, and they tell her that they're tired of seeing, that they're embarrassed of her, that they want to go to school programs, but she's too drunk to drive them. They can't do any school activities. They can't do, you know, honor roll stuff. They can't do sports. They can't do anything because she's drunk all the time, and that's why they come to me. So I start driving them. When they get off the bus, they come to my house after school, and I drive them where they're going, and that's when she starts getting crazy. She gets insanely jealous, but I brought a police report when my daughter was 10 years old and jumped out of a moving car to get away from her mom.
Well, here's the police report that you're referring to. At approximately 8:07 p.m., I'm taking the patrolman's name out, for blank police department, was dispatched to speak with Daniel regarding a child custody issue involving his two daughters. He advised it was his weekend to have the daughters, and when he attempted to drop off the two girls at their mother's residence where there was no answer at the door, Daniel advised Robin called him about the whereabouts of the two girls. Daniel said he could tell Robin had been drinking based on how she had been talking. Daniel informed me he understood the court-ordered paperwork states Robin is supposed to have the kids, but he didn't feel right making them go over to the residence where they were scared of the violence. Now, this is referring to you're not wanting them to be around this drinking you're talking about all the time.
Yeah, this is not the one.
No, I understand. I'm talking about the drinking.
Okay.
This is you're saying you don't want them to be around the drinking.
Yeah, the police refuse to take them to her. They won't help her anymore. She's a drunk. Nobody will help her. The judge won't help her. The police won't help her.
I've won every court case.
They won't even give her a restraining order. She tries to fill out these allegations. They decline them again and again. I brought all those too. I've got 13 restraining orders I submitted that they're not going to present because nobody believes her anymore.
Really?
Nobody. Okay? But that was not the document.
How many other women have to have restraining orders on you, Dan? How many other? I know of 3 right now. Women.
All members of your family.
None of my family.
Yeah.
If it was such a chaotic situation, why'd you marry her?
Can I be really frank? I mean, a PG frank?
I don't know.
I had a chance to be a hero, man.
Wednesday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
We're identical twins. We're both anorexic and bulimic.
2 beautiful sisters.
He's called them vagabond, skeleton.
I didn't realize that you ate that much and threw it up.
Because they're not a part of my life.
A family in crisis.
We want money for all of this. That's what you said to my staff. You need to become part of the solution or we're done.
That's Wednesday.
You were describing this horrific situation, so why'd you marry her?
I heard her struggling. You did the same thing to her about the childbirth. I have never had, can I be really frank? I mean, a PG frank?
I don't know.
At this time, I was such a hero. I was doing a demonstration in judo, and the next thing I knew, the class doubled in size. It was her and her sister, and each of them had a whole litter. I mean, a litter of puppies, you know. The class doubled in size, and they're both competing for my affections. This went on for like 6 months.
Because we don't even like
before I even realized what was going on. And anyway, she needed a place to stay. She had been drug out by her hair. Her car tire was shot out. Her mom had put a gun to her head. Her kids were stolen.
We've been over all that. I'm just asking why you married her.
She's a cute woman in distress, and I had a chance to be a hero, man. That's what it was about. I was the knight in shining armor, man. And then there was a whole bunch of, you know, she was a good-looking young lady who needed help.
Have you had restraining orders filed against you by other women?
She's filed 8 against me.
Have you had restraining orders
not
filed against you by other women?
You're a liar.
Are you talking about? Oh, I can't say names. All the people in your house.
Nobody related to me.
They're not my people.
No.
They're people I don't even know.
My family has never got a restraining order. They're not afraid of you.
Excuse me. Have you had restraining orders filed against you by other women?
No. No. Not that I know of, okay? I mean,
they serve you, you know.
I mean, does it mean if they file something it gets rejected because I haven't been served, okay? I haven't been. The only one is Robin.
Nope.
8. I lost count at 8.
Quit beating me up. How many times do I have to make you stop?
And on not a single one was there ever police contact, was there ever any evidence, and they were all dropped. Every single one.
So there have been. restraining orders filed
No,
against
they
you?
haven't been dropped. No.
All her. 8 restraining orders from her.
No.
From this woman sitting right here. No, I have no recollection. I have no idea what you're talking about.
When we did the pre-interview with you, you said that you wished she would be dead.
No, that's not what I said. They tried to get me to say that. Was that you? Because that infuriated me. Here's what I said. My daughter now, and wait till you meet her and you talk to her, the rage and the anger that she has fostered by trying to convince them how rotten I am. When they have me every weekend, they know how loving I am.
So what did you say?
Has spawned this really angry 14-year-old that makes that comment, and maybe somebody got their wires crossed. And let me tell you something, no parent who loves their child would want their child to have a parent die. My 12-year-old would be devastated. So that's the stupidest thing in the world. What I will say, and what I have said, and what I do believe, that if something horrible was to happen to her, because it was asked of me, if something happened to Robin, our lives would certainly get much easier. My whole family,
of course you'd have
my
access
children
to my daughters.
the only thing is Zoe would still be sad. Danny would be sadder than she thinks, but she doesn't know it. She says,
Really? She said, I remember I love you on the few hours I had her home. She said,
we'll see what she said. It'll all be here. We'll see what she said.
So
you're
you
going to take
didn't...
her word for it, then you're just being deceived. You're just
So you didn't say that?
I said the way I said it. Here, what I said, when they asked me, you know, well, how would you feel if Robin wasn't out of the picture anymore? Oh, God, what a relief that would be. You know, because how do you defend something that never occurred? When they come off and say, you know, he went to Mars and pulled his pants off and raped an alien, you know, what am I supposed to say? I did not. You know, how can you prove something that doesn't even exist? How can you defend against something that is just a dream?
I'm just trying to figure out whether you did or didn't say whether you did or I'm just trying to figure out whether you did or didn't say that things would be better if she was dead.
Be exact again, be precise.
We record our pre-interviews. Here's what you said. Hey, Dr. Phil here. We're ready to start the show, but we're waiting on you. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil Show, call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445 or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. I'm just trying to figure out whether you did or didn't say that things would be better if she was dead.
My daughter has been... I've been having to defend
That's not
Robin.
an essay question.
No. What I would say is, if something happened... And I remember I talked with one of your people. If something happened to her and we never saw her again, our lives would be a lot better. And that includes the girls, okay? They don't have to deal with cops waking them up in the middle of the night, dragging them out of the house.
That has never happened.
It's been happening for 14 years.
I'm just trying to get an answer to a simple question. It's whether or not you said, if your children's mother passed away, things would be better. Because that, to me, is significant.
It would absolutely, we would immediately... be the huge sigh of relief as far as the older people. Zoe would be devastated. She would be devastated because she still thinks Mom can be saved. She still thinks.
So you did say that?
I didn't say I wish she was dead. No. No, I did not say that. Not. Be exact again. Be precise. Because I didn't say I wish she was dead. That's my daughter.
Well. You said your life would be better if she was dead.
If she was gone forever, yeah. Yeah, definitely. When you suffer as much as I've spent 6 months on the ground in the fetal position. In the fetal position crying, okay, because she yanked the children from me. And I fought tooth and nail. I spent over $50,000 in custody battles.
Actually...
And you don't miss people that put you through that. You don't miss them, man.
I gave you
actually, we record our pre-interviews. Here's what you said.
Between you and me, if you like passed away, my life would be better. You know what I mean? No tears here.
Yep. That doesn't mean I wish she's
Your children's mother. Your children's mother.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to hold to that. You guys, you don't know. You don't know what it feels like when your children are taken from you 3 months old. The only reason I have my kids is I got paperwork filed. I am the petitioner for custody at 3 months old with my firstborn child. I didn't see my baby for 6 months until the court made her come back. I have a picture of a 2-day visit in 6 months where my baby was taken by this demon right here sitting in front of you, okay? And you know what? I fought you, and I'm still standing. I'm still here. And these kids, they love me, and they will always love me.
So is there any basis to Daniel's concerns here? Is there any basis to Daniel's concerns here? We'll talk about that when we come back. You have a drinking problem?
I went to treatment, and he harassed me on a daily basis.
I wish you never got out.
Wednesday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
We're identical twins. We're both anorexics and bulimic.
Two beautiful sisters.
He's called them vagabond, skeleton.
I didn't realize that you ate that much and threw it up.
Because they're not a part of my life.
A family in crisis.
We want money for all of this. That's what you said to my staff. You need to become part of the solution or we're done.
That's Wednesday.
Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episode, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Well, we're out of time today. We've heard a lot of serious allegations and name-calling, especially from Robin, who claims Daniel brainwashed their daughters. So what's really going on here? Well, we're going to get to the bottom of it all during tomorrow's shocking conclusion, where we hear new explosive accusations from Daniel about Robin and the man he claims she allowed within inches of her daughters. Also, we'll hear from their daughters, Danny and Zoe. Their father told us how he claims they feel. But what do they really say? Did they run away, or were they really kidnapped by Daniel?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Daniel's facing contempt charges for kidnapping our daughters.
They ran away. How in the world is that kidnapping?
You're encouraging your kids to run away?
No, you guys didn't play the evidence. That's bull.
Put the damn thing up. I'm calling bull on your bull.
The one day you had them, you were drunk.
You are a liar.
The best gift you can give your daughters
Just get them the hell out of her house.
You need to stop being a know-it-all.
That's tomorrow.
Stay tuned. Believe me, you will not want to miss this. Log on to drphil.com and share your thoughts on our message boards. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you tomorrow.